change these days that we need to look into, so that we have to go forward for the better HR professionals. And in the chat GPT world, do we sustain with the jobs or not? So generally my take and answer for this is, people who are using these kind of things as a tools, they will get the right kind of, there is a two kinds of fragmentation that is happening, or two levels that it is happening. One is the elite side of the HR professionals, another is a follower kind of a lower level. There is no mediocre today. It's specifically, the gap is getting built up. The people who goes to the next level, that is what is our efforts, even satsangs, whatever the trainings, whatever the upskilling, learning from the people, knowing from our HR friends, fraternities, groups. Why we are making all these things is because to learn that and to grow to the next levels. That is the most important thing. Otherwise, we will fall back. We will not be, nobody will look at us. Koi bhi dekhta bhi nahi hai. Nobody will look at us. So the thing is, you need to go to the next levels. That means what is that you need to do is use these kind of, the technological upgradations into your, as a tools, and you have to grow beyond them. What is growing beyond? Run what you're saying, whatever the content, whatever the mails, whatever the information, transactional kind of things, automation, recruitment, data analytics, reports, everything is getting automated. What else that we need to do? You start, that is what Indwin sir is also saying, from the transactional to transformational. Transformation is you are influencing the people, you are helping the people, you are serving the people, you are trying to listen to the people. That is what is needed. Where exactly that compassion that comes from the heart, not from the mind exactly, or not from the rule book or your HR policies. We are not demeaning the the value of that HR policies at all. Those things are philosophies of the management to maintain the work, to run the work. That is okay. But beyond that, because these are all not missions, these are all living beings with which we are working with, spotlights and people, to make them to work for the growth of themselves, growth of the organization, as well as growth of the HR people also. So we need to earn our own stature, we need to earn our own respect, and we need to grow by ourselves. So what is that I need to do today beyond these kind of policies? What else that I need to do? That is where the people touch comes. Talk to people compassionately, listen to them, give them the same kind of a respect, right? So first you try to offer your service, then you obtain the, whatever the things that needs to be. So when you have changed your attitude, when you have changed your way of working, and when you have changed, I generally teach people to say three kinds of things. One is you pause for a moment. For every transaction, pause for a moment, plan for it, and then proceed. So for everything, don't just go blindly. Be mindful whenever any transaction that is happening. Think about any of the human element is there in that. Any of the healing aspect is there in that. Think about it and try to get that particular point and work on that particular aspect. That will go good. Right. So friends, today's aspect is, last time we talked about the head count to heart count. And then now we are talking about empathy and compassion, from the policy to compassion or empathy towards that particular thing. So these two things are giving us a roadmap for us to move forward from the transactional to transformational. Indwin sir has given a wonderful, set the context very clearly. Now, do you got any kind of any such kind of experiences or any reflections or responses is there with you? Can you please let us discuss, let us interact with those things? Okay, so we are ready, open for the questions, and we are open for the responses to listen and wants to see what are the reflections that are happening. Yeah, I do understand some kind of technical issues have come, some kind of a disengagement might have happened, but I know every one of you are very good HR professionals and matured enough, and the topic itself might have ignited something in your mind when you registered for yourself, or even the program has started. I request all of you to please come up with your questions.
Ram, before we open the forum for questions, a few more things which I just set the tone so that they're easy with that. Thanks, Ram, for setting the more context in that. See, for people over here, we don't know from what background of industry and what experience you are coming in. See, we everyone of a HR has to respect that experience because it becomes as the learning forte. It's your learning, and it's your learning which has made you grow from one level to the next level. So that's a transformative journey for your own self. So we need to impart that knowledge to our fellow colleagues or fellow fraternity. We do that through mentoring. So that's one gamut of empathy for making the other person grow. That's one thing. Then we also need to have monthly check-ins. How is your team working on? See, we do this check only once in a year, right? With the appraisal cycle. We need to stop that being a transaction. We need to look at monthly check ins wherein we take care of what is more than their work. How are we empowering them to do their work? Are we giving them motivation enough for them? Is their goals being assigned with their own personal goals? The organization goals, are they aligned with that individual's personal growth? That is also very critical transformation which we need to look. Then mental well-being has become the talk in town. Now, when we look at a HR person, he also need to we can use the model of Dave Ulrich model. So it has a four quadrant. One is about trans administrative HR. One is about strategy HR. One is about change management. Another is about people experience. So from administrative is talking about all the transaction work which a person is doing. So from that, if a person has to go, he has to be empathetic so that then only he can act as change agent. What does change agent talk about? Learn. When you look at learning, it's about learn, relearn, unlearn, relearn, and whatnot. Right. So how do we do that transfer of thought process? Then we are also looking at how do we impact each individual's life. See, we will have a challenge with the traditional leadership. So how do we do a change management in that? And my last takeaway for the entire people would be like the 4P model. So what is the 4P is? Policy. It has to be aligned with people. The people has to be aligned with the process. Once this 3P are aligned, it will look for performance. So policy, people, process, and performance. This is what we need to look at. And like sir had told a lot of insights. The one thing what we are empowering here is please listen, because communication is not about only talking. It's about giving your ears to your listening. You need to be a good HR person means you need to listen. If you listen to people talking, half the problem is sorted. But what do? We don't listen. We react. And how do we react? How can we give a counter to our fellow colleague or a boss or a subordinate? You need to be a good parent. Listen to what your child is asking you for. Why are they that way? See, childrens don't learn, they absorb what we as parents do. So, as a responsible citizens of any country, we need to depict what our country stands for. And what we believe is Aditi Deva Bhava. So we empower that same thought process as a HR for the organization, because we are the brand ambassadors for the organization, because we are the first touch base. So are we empathetic, or are we going by the rule books? The rule books are like our Constitution of India. It has our rights, it has our duties. So likewise, every organization will have code of conduct, but it will have a leeway where we are empathetic to the people. People, another best example I can give is people don't leave jobs, they leave managers. So if the manager has been empathetic, people don't leave. So that's my simple take. So I would like to again thank Enrich Academic for this wonderful opportunity and our great people who have been listening with us with a
Sir,
lot of goof
sir,
offs.
still there is a time for us to respond
No,
to
no.
their
Yes,
questions,
yes.
sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's
Please,
yes,
please.
yes, yes.
We are
We'll
not
wait for.
leaving you yet.
They,
No, no, I'm not
we'll
leaving.
wait.
I'm not leaving. I'll be happy to
Yeah,
wait till 9 o'clock also because
No, no,
let
no.
our friends respond to us.
yes, please.
Thank you, my dear friends. Please, please respond with your responses and reflections also. Not only questions. Every time there will not be any kind of questions and all. This is like a
You
satsang
can
that we
you
are
can
interacting with us. Okay, right.
you can please switch on your videos, and also you can switch on your mics. You can ask the questions one after the other. You can raise your hands.
There is
You're
no
most
question
welcome.
as right and wrong. Every question is right. Please ask.
Yeah, true. Maunika.
So, good evening. Nice meeting you, sir.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so I have been connecting with few points when you were speaking about being empathetic. So, my question is, how and see to provide any policies or to make any policies, an HR should have a particular experience, right? Maybe in different kinds of domains. So how can a HR gain that experience through maybe through his past experience or maybe doing some courses or that way, or the respective HR and the management has to collaborate with no, some kind of advocates or lawyers who know very well about this policy structures and all. That is the first question. And my second question is, how will the employees know whether the company is empathetic towards the employees or not? So how can they understand if the employee themselves don't know to ask questions? The first thing is the employee has to ignite the mind to ask the question. If the employee is not at all aware of the management being empathetic, how will an employee come forward and understand the management empathy?
We'll hold over there because it's not two questions. It is a lot of questions over here. So first thing is, see, policy if you want to make, anyone can make any policies now because you have AI tools who can help you across because they are learning at a very fast pace. So if Indwin is coming with around 13 or 14 years of experience, it is knowledgeable for me because I did something wrong and I corrected myself. So that power of transformation is given to you with AI tools. So if you put frame any policy like dress code policy or attendance policy or leave policy, if you give it to ChatGPT or any AI tools, it will generate for you. But you have to use your personal experience to tweak it to your industry requirement because it will not be generic. If you have see if you have any problem, you need to go to a doctor. Or do you go to a doctor who is what do you say specialist, or you go to a generalist? In the sense, you have fever
Correct,
means you go to a normal physician, right?
correct,
You don't go to a specialist. But if you have a problem, or the problem is with your bone or something, you go to that specialist. Like if you have a problem with the heart, you go to a heart specialist. So likewise, HR is now not only talking about a generalist, but he has to be a specialist in some domain. And if somebody is formulating those policies, means he need to have some experience in that industry to formulate that policy. Outline and everything you can get it from AI tools, but you need to tweak it to your industry requirement and your company requirement because every company is different. Every company's core values are different. Every company's mission and vision are different. So when
correct,
you look, I'll give you example is Tata. Everyone wants to work with Tata Group, right? Why? Because they stand for the value, right? Tata company hai to wo chor nahi hai. That's the mindset they have given us, right? So they don't do spend a lot of money on their ads. Why? Because people know it's a brand value we look up to. uh, opinions are my personal opinions, so please do not tag us anywhere and drag us into any IP or something. But the same way, you need to look at what is required at your company. That's one thing. Then if you want to look at empowered employees, ask the employees also to participate in the policy making.
Correct.
So how do you empower them? uh, if you give them an opportunity, then also they will not come and ask. So go and sit with them, chat with them, understand their problem, then create a policy which can help them across.
Correct. Correct. I was expecting this answer because ChatGPT cannot give all the answers what employees are expecting. Sitting with the employees and knowing
every
their
every
concerns is
question
correct.
is unique. How do
Yes,
you
sir.
answer them is also unique, because
Correct.
I am still old school. I'm still what to say. I'll when I look at, I'll have some very logical and very transformational things when you look at the statements. But I'm still old school in my few of my thoughts, because I believe when you have a kid, you have to beat him to make him right. जहाँ पे मारना है, we have to beat them. We have to be empathetic. We have to beat them also, because both is required. We have half of the issues, everything at a younger stage. Why are they not able to face challenges? Is we have spoiled them as a parent. We have given them every benefit. See, when I'll tell you my personal story is 2010 I completed my engineering, and then to 2011 only I got my first job. So 1 year I had to depend on my parents' income for all my interviews. So I used to feel very sad that even after getting me a degree, I was unable to get a job, or I had to ask for my parents for my expenses. So, but I'm always wanted to help across. So, but now what is the thing is, everyone who is a student or as a third standard or fourth standard kids, we are given them mobile. Why? Because parent wants free time for them to relax. So we have empowered. I'll not say empowered. We have spoiled our kids with technology. See, another example I can give you is, you have a mango. If it is uh, if it is ripening on its own, it will have a period to become a fruit, right? There's a fruit and there's a mango fruit which is you can eat it, right? The green apple is good
Yeah.
for something. The raw apple is good for something. The ripe apple is good for something. Where are we as humans? We are also learning. But if you make, I think calcium carbide is used for artificial ripening. So if you put that, the taste of the mango is spoiled, because it becomes something which is not supposed to happen before time. So
Correct.
we need to respect the experience which people are coming with, but we need to also look at what is the expectation set by our younger generation. So basic framework, what we have to look is Maslow's theory. I always stick to the basics. Maslow's theory talks about what? Want, need, and desire. If you can solve this problem for anyone, if you know this requirement for any individual, you are good, like God for them, because you're solving their problem. And as HR, if you're solving more problems, your salary will also be skyrocket. The more problems you solve, more salary you will have. You solve small problems, you get only peanuts, right? So look at our own evolution as a HR person. We would have joined as a HR intern, then HR assistant, then HR executive, generalist, specialist. We go to CHRO. Why CHRO is treated? Because he's having that experience and he's partnering with the business. He's understanding the business. If HR understands business, he is the king, because HR can make and break the organization. You want to spoil any organization, spoil the HR.
That's correct.
Wonderful, wonderful. Very true.
So, Lavanya, you have something to say? You raise any
Yes,
other
yes, yes, yes.
voices or any other chat discussions or something?
Yeah, I
Field.
just wanted to check with the participants if they want to ask any questions further on this.
I think
Please.
Bhanupriya, somebody has asked a question. Is it really possible for a country like India to adapt a 6-hour workday? We usually stretch more than the required number of hours, as we rightly mentioned while presenting.
Did any one of our organization ask us to overstretch? No. We overstretch because our boss is sitting. We want to prove to our boss saying we are more loyal to the organization. See, staying at one organization doesn't justify that you're loyal. Now you need to understand the story of the hare and the tortoise. Everybody would have listened to the story where it is slow and steady wins race. That generational learning has gone now. Now it is about fast and steady wins the race. That's one story. Another story, being an engineer turned HR, I would state is you have input at one side, you have output. So in between, you have a process. Input will go into the process, it will transform into output, right? So if you want a simple output, input and process will give you then output. But if you want to improvise and change thing, you need to have a feedback mechanism. So your feedback has to come from your output to your input to give you a process. So your process will change. So did our organization ask us to give 8 hours, 9 hours? No. Did we do that? Yes. Why? Because our education has spoiled us. Education has not empowered us to become leaders. It has empowered us to become what? Transactional job. When we look at our Indian glorified history, we had everything. If you look at the Nalanda University when it was there, you had people learning multiple section of learning. Like they can learn law, they can learn science, they can learn arts, they can learn multiple diversity of learning. Now, do we have that? No. You can stick to only one stream. Now, thanks to national education policy, people can jump streams now. I think, ma'am,
Yes.
and
Okay.
sir, to answer ma'am's question is work smartly that you go within the time. 8 hours means do 8 hours only. Don't take your work to your home and don't take your home to your work. It's very thin line.
Learn to balance.
And ma'am, there is
And I
nothing
have a
called as, yeah, please, please, please.
sorry, I can actually some kind of a trend that we are observing is 4-day work week. Different countries, different companies, MNCs, they're adopting. So there is a 4-day work week kind of a thing. But the thing is, how many hours that we are stretching in a day, in a working day? That is more important. Now, Bhanupriya's the question is it really possible for a country like India to adapt a 6-hour workday? We cannot predict and we cannot say so. As Indwin has given a wonderful insight that it's learn fast and grow fast and implement fast, that kind of thing. Another trend which is coming, Bhanupriya, is there is a gig working model which is coming in. So it's a, you can say the experts, people are there who can complete the work very quickly and very efficiently, and who doesn't have to make the things around. Even I have seen people who are stretching their number of hours in completing the works. When we have taken, except certain industries like piece unit per person per hour kind of very objective oriented production models. Otherwise, rest of the service oriented or any other back end works and all, it is very tough for us to gauge that whether it is real productivity or not. That is the biggest problem. So there is a India will always have a mix and match kind of a things and all. No way that entire industries, all industries, 6 days, 6 hours a day kind of things and all won't be there. But certain industries definitely they are progressing towards a gig working where productivity is much more with a less number of works, as Indwin had said. There are certain companies still they are facing that kind of a problem that people are there in the organizations for 8 hours, but they are not bringing the productivity of not even 1 hour, 1 hour. So these kind of scenarios will be there in the mixed culture. Especially India is a very diversified labor market that we are having. Different kinds of skilled, unskilled, and semi-skilled people are there. There's a long, you can say that there are different kinds of variables that needs to be, we need to see before advocating any 6 hour a day kind of things. I think I answered your question, Bhanupriya, from my angle. Sir is
we
also
we
already answered for that.
we can also advocate 4 days, 3 days, everything can be worked. Then the thing is, people will be sitting in office only. That becomes a challenge.
Anyway, thank you so much, friends. I ask Lavanya to take over this to give some concluding remarks on this, because we don't have any further questions. Please, closing remarks, please give it to you, madam, so that it's past 8:30. Taken, right?
Yeah, that's a
Thank you.
wonderful session. Actually, I need to thank all of you, the participants, as well as Mr. Indwin also. That has been an insightful session with his experiences, as well as what the perception we should keep as a HR. So I have taken so many things from this, like what does actually the empathy means. Empathy is not just showing love and affection to people, but it is to show the right kind of affection towards people at the right place. It's not just like अरे रे तुमको लग गया क्या, वैसा नहीं है. If you are falling down, then you should learn to get up also. That's what we should be able to teach the people. So that's where the balance between empathy and the policy comes here only. Like policy speaks about the rules and all, and when it comes to empathy, it speaks about showing goodness, like bubbliness or something you want to show to people, where people will get emotionally attached. But where is the thin line that we need to find out properly, and then we need to experience and experiment that. And as a HR, it becomes we are the flag holders for that. We need to first of all understand that, we need to believe that, we need to exercise, and without that exercise and understanding, we cannot ask people to do that, and we cannot implement also. That's what I strongly believe, because saying things are different, and implementing things is too much difficult, tougher with people, because they might have already had some kind of experiences with them. So we need to make them unlearn to relearn, because they have their own experiences, they have learned. So accordingly, whatever the success formula for them, that they will be practicing throughout the day. So when you have come up with new rules and new regulations and new kind of situations, and you need to ask them to follow them, that also need to be asked in a proper way, and you should respond rather than reacting for the things. So I have seen like that goals alignment with the big picture of the company, that you need to make them aware of, like this policy is going to make you align with that. It is not just to put a rule book on your head, but it is to align the goal so that you can achieve the goal. So that it is to create a win-win-win situation from the peoples and as well as the companies, and also because moreover, what I believe personally, from these things also I can say this experience, like what I believe is, if the company is standard and if it is growing, then everybody in the related to the company, whether it is the management or it is the people, everybody grows. But if management is showing for looking for their own perspective, their own profit, and people are looking out for their own profit, their own comforts and all, what happens to the company? At the end of the day, that is what to be looked out by the HR. We think about the welfare of the company instead of looking out for the individual's welfare out there. So if the welfare of the company is to be settled, then as you said, sometimes we may also have to go for this strong policy implementation part. Some kind of negativity might also we may have to face. So that critical communication need to be practiced well. So that kind of balance need to be handled by the HRs. That is what more required over here. So over a period of experience in different companies, over a period of experience with different, even the participants in different training programs we had, this is all we also could see. And the same you have also delivered this today, which I have understood, like we are all on the same page mostly. And as a HR, the perspective is to be properly set before we step on the floor itself. Because as a HR, what I want to do for the company, if I don't know what I'm going to do, and I'm going as if I'm a normal employee, everybody goes, and I'm also going to the organization, it doesn't make any difference. So whether you stay there or somebody else stay there, if they don't understand this kind of perspective, they cannot make any change in the company. So the policy and the empathy both needs to be balanced well by a HR if he or she understands the perspective well. If they have a proper understanding and they have a proper strategy to implement that, then only it can happen. And yes, the world is changing very quickly and also stepping towards these kind of things, because AI tomorrow, if it is also taking up all the things, as a HR, we need to also see that the balance should not get disturbed by all these things. Because AI doesn't act as we say if we don't understand what to ask. If I don't ask a right question, it will give whatever it wants, right? And it is not going to be helpful, as he answered for Monica, Indwin has answered for Monica. So we need to know what question do we ask? Do we need to ask to get the right answer for that? If we don't know, we cannot do anything on that. So there are so many areas we need to address to balance this thing. That is what I could understand from this program, I mean, from this session. And I'm very much happy that we have invited you today, Indwin. That was a really wonderful session, and I'm very much thankful to all the participants that on a working day like Wednesday evening 7:30 to 8:30, you have taken time out from your hectic day, and you have participated and stood throughout to listen to the session with a focus. We are very much thankful. And from NRich HR Academy, there are some more, many more HR Satsang sessions are going to be conducted on different kinds of HR related topics. So stay tuned to listen to much more sessions on this. And I need to thank all of you, even the conducting team. There is a team, entire team working behind me to conduct this program. Of course, we had some technical glitches initially because of there is a system change from my end. So I'm very much sorry for that. I need to apologize. And yes, our speaker reminded us that HR is not just about implementing policies, but about listening, understanding, and showing up with empathy. That's sometimes a kind word, a patient ear or supportive gesture can do more for an organization than any policy document ever could. That is what the final conclusion word I can say from the entire thing we have understood today. And as we leave this session, let's carry a simple but powerful question with us. Where can I bring a little more healing into my HR practice? As I told you, we need to implement that. So how we can implement that? That is what we need to find a way. See, if we want to do something, then we need to find all the alternatives. Plan A is not working, then you go for B. You can go up to Z also. As an Excel sheet, A1, AB, A2, whatever you want to keep it. But n number of times you need to trial, then only the implementation can happen. Nobody can succeed in the first step itself. So that needs to be implemented. So whether it's in how we handle difficult conversations or how we design employee policies, may we never lose sight of the human behind there. That is what the HR works for. Because entire organization works for different activities, different products and services and IT and software and like that. But we are the only one who work for people. That humanliness should be there along with all the other things. So we need to keep that. So to our wonderful speaker, thank you, reminding us for even in structured spaces, compassion has a place. And to everyone who joined us, shared your thoughts, your presence made this satsang very much meaningful. The recording of this session will soon be released in the YouTube. We have a playlist in the YouTube NRich HR Academy YouTube channel is there, where there is a playlist on the name of HR Satsang, where all these sessions will be released. Once the session gets completed, within a couple of days itself, we will be releasing the session with the summary. So you can watch the recorded versions of that, and you can share into your fellow HR fraternity people so that they also can get connected with us. And we have our presence, NRich HR Academy's presence in all the social media channels. Like it could be LinkedIn, it could be Facebook, it could be YouTube, it could be Instagram. Everywhere we are there. So you just type NRich HR Academy, you can get us, and you can get in contact with us, and you can be in touch with us. You can be a part of our HR Satsang community. There is a WhatsApp group. The mails you have got, that mail is having the phone number also. You can connect with us so that you can join the community through that, and you can participate in different discussions on those podiums also, exchanging your experiences, coming up with your questions related to your challenges, what you daily experience in your HR roles, so that our experts team is there. Today, we have included Indwin also into that team, so he is also ready to answer your questions. And even if you have further questions also, you can connect with anybody of us, and you can, we all can get together to excel in our roles. That is what the major point here is. Thank you so much for this wonderful topic. I'm concluding today's session. Thank you so much to you all tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.